Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Michael here from Blissful Misery, and you might know me as Michael the Ark or anything else if you see me other places, but this is a video blog about Blissful Misery and my music, so I wanted to just jump in really quick and try to explain a few things going on, and I think I'd have an easier time talking than trying to type all of this up. I'm undertaking a huge project right now, so I'm going to have to be postponing a lot of studio work, uh, actually in the studio recording or producing. Um, so basically, what's going on is I have about at least 206 songs that I have content for right now that might be just a little bit of content, might be just lyrics, it might be a riff, it might be anything from one little tiny piece of content all the way up to a full song. And basically, I'm going to go through all of these songs that I have in my archive right now, and I'm going to use a new it's a new checklist database or spreadsheet that I created, and I've got right now 5 tabs in it. It's got songs, current, writing, notes, and releases. And basically, in songs, I'm going to be looking at this stuff, and you might hear me clicking, and that's me going down the thing in the editor over here, so I know what part I'm on. So anyway, um, in songs, I'm basically putting in: is it already written? Has it been recorded? Is it in my live set? What type of song is it? Is it a song I want to play live? Is it a song that's only ever going to be recorded? And so basically, I just go through and I've got notes on there for pertaining to this stuff. And it's not about what needs to be done in the writing process, but basically, do I need to write something on it? Do I need to rename it or anything like that? In the current, I'm going to put in the actual song I'm working on now, mainly. And basically, this is just to let me know, hey, this is what I need. If I go to bed and I get up the next day and I can see it and I'm like, okay, this is what I got to work on. So going on over to writing, I've got a list of every version of every song. Basically, it's right now it's just a list of every song, but as I go through, I'm going to add a new entry for every individual version of that song, and I'm going to go through and I've got vocals, a vocal section with lyrics, vocal melody, choir, a band section with subsections of guitars, and then so it's got nylon, steel 12, clean 1, distortion 1, clean 2, distortion 2, solo, bass, and then drums. Since it's all in the band part, but then I've got the guitar part separate as well. So it's kind of weird, but it works. Then I've got keys and synth, and I've got piano, keyboards, organ, and synth in there. I got strings, violin 1, 2, viola, cello, contrabass, harp, and then I've got brass. Now, harp, I've been told should be in percussion, but it's strings, y'all. It's a stringed instrument. You pluck it, but it's strings. That's why I have it in there. Brass, I've got horns, trumpets, trombones again, the tenor trombones, bass trombones, tuba. Then I have the woodwind section with piccolo, flute, oboe, clarinet, bassoons, percussion with celeste, tubular bells, marimba, xylophone, and glockenspiel. I love a glockenspiel, y'all. So I've got a checklist for every single one of these for every single version of every single song, basically. And I'm going to have a lot of work to do, and that's why I'm not going to be in the studio, because I'm basically in here. I'm going to go through all of these songs and mark down what I have, and then I'm going to go through and to the next or the other pages I've set up, the other tabs, and actually give notes on what I need to do and all. Moving on really quick though, in the next one, it's just a notes section, and this is going to tell me if it's just a temporary title, if it is the actual title, and I've got this set up specifically as basically an upcoming or a current project thing, and it's going to tell me if it is finished, if I need to check it, if it's a work in progress, if it's pending, if it's part of a backlog that needs to be done, or if it has been archived, which archived songs are going to be not worked on anymore. So I've got I think I've got 4 archived songs. I am going to check them just to see if I can change them to something else, but there may not be the content there to change them into anything else, so we'll see how it goes. And then I have releases, and I will get to these in just a moment, but know that basically it tells every single song on each release that I have already done or I'm planning, besides the last one I'm going to comment on. So I am moving on to the next part. I'm going to be doing reissues of the Art Video Suite, of Acoustica, and the Remembering Piano Suite that just came out. Why? Well, at the time that I done all of these, I was still learning a lot. Each one, I've released one a year, and I have learned a lot every release. And after I done Remembering Piano Suite, I have went through and I've actually got a bunch of new instruments, virtual instruments, and I've got a bunch of other stuff. And I just absolutely, really, really love the new stuff I've done that I've purchased, and it sounds so much better than the old stuff to me. And I would like to take the old stuff, starting in the order that they released, so AVS, and rework them, reproduce them from scratch probably, and mix them anew and master them anew to basically my new standards. For these, I mastered them to specific standards that I shouldn't have done, and I was still learning how to do stuff, and so they are not exactly mastered right for streaming consumption. So for streaming services, they're not right. For other things, they're not right for specific things, but right for other things. And I just think that I have learned so much that I would like to do reissues of these 3 things. And when I do a reissue, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to pay for distribution on each of them as a collection, as an album. They are EPs, but they basically will be put out like an album, a collection of songs, basically. So another thing to note is that the Art Video Suite is no longer going to be called the Art Video Suite going forward from the reissue, and it will be called Into the Dreamscapes going forward. So that takes me to the next point. I will say the other 2 releases, Acoustica and Remembering Piano Suite, will stay the same. I might not even touch Remembering Piano Suite. I might just release it as is, but Into the Dreamscapes and Acoustica will be redone with new instruments for most of them. I may not redo some of the other instruments. It just depends, but I may go back in and completely rebuild them from scratch. But ABS will now be Into the Dreamscapes, and that brings me to the next thing, is that I am working on 3 to 4 new projects, basically, recording or studio projects. So with those 3, that's going to be 6 to 7 studio projects that I'm kind of doing simultaneously. or one right after the other, basically. Um, Into the Dreamscapes will be the first EP of a trilogy of EPs that are very specifically done in a different way. So, Into the Dreamscapes will, and the Art Video Suite Deluxe is what Into the Dreamscapes will be. So, it will feature, in this order, the tracks will be the dual acoustic version of Journey Through the Dreamscapes, dual acoustic version of The Anticipation Mystery, the dual acoustic version of Phantom Lake, the dual acoustic version of Fog of Dismay, Phantom Lake Phantom Piano, and then the piano tracks for Journey, Anticipation, Phantom, and Fog. I've been asked, why is Phantom Piano different than the piano version for Phantom Lake? And it's because it has a wobble effect on it that's supposed to make it sound like it's done in an old, being played on an old phonogram, basically. And I'm going to see if I can't reproduce that even better than I did with this one. The original take on Phantom Piano was basically, or Phantom Lake Phantom Piano, let's just call it that. It was used a different process apparently than I thought. And when I came back to actually make the releasable track, it didn't work the same. They had updated the plugin and it no longer worked the same to create the spooky sound that I liked. So I'm going to find another method to reproduce this if I can and see what I can do. That takes me to the next thing, which now that's the deluxe edition. So, and most of those songs, the piano version is a dual piano. I might need to notate that in the future that it is the dual piano version. I'm not sure if I'll just put it as piano or what. So going forward, the next thing that I will be working on after those three, Acoustica has the full version, the acoustic band, the symphony, the piano, the classical acoustic, and then the dual acoustic. And then the Remembering Piano Suite has Piano True, Piano Dual Piano, Piano Symphony, and Piano. After that, there are 3 projects besides the Madness that I'll be working on. So the first project is actually, okay, I didn't put it in right. Hold on. I got to write it in, y'all. Okay, so the first project is actually EP number 2 of the trilogy, and it is called Exploring the Dreamscapes. And right now it is set to have 4 songs. So we have Return to the Dreamscapes, Somber, which may be replaced with something else. It has not been written in full, but it is in the process, and I'm probably going to combine a bunch of other riffs that I've done. I'm going to transpose them into the proper key and put those things together and see if I can build out this song. Then the next song is Rose, which y'all should have heard by now. The first song is Return to the Dreamscapes, and you may have heard that already. You may not have. If you have heard it, or if you haven't heard it, there is a version of it coming out soon, a video for it, so you'll be able to hear it. Rose has already released some of the stuff, so you can go check it out now. The fourth and final song on Exploring the Dreamscapes is Embrace the Darkness, which is an old song of mine. I wanted to write all new songs for these, and then I got to talking with advisors and chatting with AI about planning and stuff, as I use a business AI basically to help me plan stuff. And it said, if you already have songs that you've already wrote most of, or you've got stuff from them, it would probably be a good idea to go ahead and just use those songs, adapt them how you need to do. So these are songs that I really loved in the past and that fit the style of the Art Video Suite. If you don't know the Art Video Suite, and it's just going to be called the Dreamscape Trilogy, the Dreamscapes Trilogy, and they are all basically dual acoustic versions instead of the full band versions, and I'll get to that in a few minutes. So again, exploring the Dreamscapes, track 1, Return to the Dreamscapes, track 2, Somber, track 3 is Rose, and then track 4 is Embrace the Darkness. Going on to the next one, now I might put piano versions out with these, I'm not sure. They may have standard versions and they may have deluxe as well. I'm not really sure. However, the next EP, EP3, is Echoes of the Dreamscapes. And it's going to start off with a song called Twilight that I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite songs I ever wrote, and I love listening to it, and it will put me to sleep listening to it. And I just want that to be on there. But I am renaming it from Twilight to Twilight Dreamscapes. And I'm kind of iffy about that, but I think that it's a good thing. If I do not, then the second track will be the Dreamscapes track. And I'll switch Twilight to track 2 if that is what happens. However, right now it's going to be Twilight or Twilight Dreamscapes, and then I'm working on combining 2 songs, one called Natural and one called Classical, into one song, and we're going to see how it does. I'll rename the song. I have an old song that is no good at all, but was a really cool idea from when I very first started playing guitar, and it is called Asylum of the Unknown. It is an instrumental by design, and it was a fingerstyle instrumental, and it's something that I really want to work on. I then have a song that may be replaced on this altogether. The next 2 songs may be replaced with something else, but song 4 will be called Wizardry, and song 5 is called Eerie. And again, these are all going to be dual acoustic versions of these songs, so that they are more like backing tracks for a video. If I ever wanted to do those, I'll have 13 songs for that, then very specific for that. And I will just tell y'all though, Embrace the Darkness is a full song. It has a full band. I actually rewrote most of that last week or week before last one, and it is a full song. I do not have a vocal melody for it. I do have lyrics. I don't have vocal melody, and I do not have the orchestra. The orchestra may be downsized to just maybe 2 string parts, maybe cello and violin instead of the entire thing. I like doing a lot of stuff, but it really depends on what's going on. I know that Eerie is something that on the 3rd EP, Eerie is something that I had, and I specifically wrote this song to be very eerie sounding to me. And it's about something that I struggle with, something that happened in my life that I struggle with, and I think that it fits on here. So, with that being said, I'm sure Asylum of the Unknown will be a complete rewrite using the ideas I had, but I want to do that because I want to really get it going. And that takes me to an album. So, after those 3 EPs are fully completed, I will go ahead and I'll release one, and then later I'll release another. Not at the same time, but I will release another. And then I'm going to go through and I am going to make an album of 13 songs. If I make an album, I like to have 13 songs on it. So the album right now is set to have the full version, which will be the full band, any kind of synth vocal or choir, and then the orchestra, everything. So right now, the track listing looks like Embrace the Darkness, The Anticipation of Mystery, Whatever Natural Classical Becomes, Rose, Journey Through the Dreamscapes, Somber, Wizardry, Phantom Lake, Return to the Dreamscapes, Fog of Dismay, Eerie, Asylum of the Unknown, and Twilight Dreamscapes. And it will be a full album. So the other release I am going to be working on is basically it's the Madness, but I'm calling this the Remaddening Project, and I've been working on this a while. But I'm going to go back to the drawing board on every song on the Madness, and I'm going to create what I call a band version, which is basically everything minus the orchestra parts. So if I say it's the band or the full band or whatever, that's what that is. It may have choir or a vocal synth or something. I doubt a sing. But I'm going to have one like that I'm going to have 2 EPs probably that feature those tracks. So it'll probably be 6 tracks on one and 7 tracks on another. They will not be in the same order. And then the Madness itself will have everything in the full way. It's the full version with the orchestra and everything. So I really want to do that specific way. So the EPs will be the reissue of Welcome to the Madness, and then the second EP of that, if I do them as EPs, will probably have something about the Madness or something, maybe remembering the Madness or whatever. I don't know, but anyway, that's just how we're going to go about doing those. So that takes me down to this thing right here. What is this? This is a 7-string acoustic guitar. What in the world? When did you get that? Well, I got it last week. And last week now. And this thing is awesome. Let me tell you, it sounds amazing. It is an Ibanez Blackout. AEG 721, I think, is the official model. But it is absolutely amazing sounding. I love it. It came perfectly set up. I didn't have to do anything but just tune it up a little bit. So now this thing is going to this thing here is going to help me with my next thing I want to talk about, which is my guitar playthrough videos. And it's the last thing we're talking about today, but I am in the process of learning or relearning 3 songs in their entirety. And one of them is Angel Incarnate, one of them is Rose, and one of them is Embrace the Darkness. Most likely, I will also do. There's another song I wanted to do. Black Misery will probably be one of them. And I'm going to have those as acoustic versions. So Black Misery and Angel Incarnate will be with this guy here, and then the other 2 will be on my Cordoba. So I'm really excited about doing that. I think that it will sound great doing this, but we'll see. I'm really looking forward to trying to do these. So I'm going to be practicing these 4 songs a lot, trying to relearn any parts that I haven't fully got down. Like with Rose, I know by heart, I know the first half of the song because I've played that live so many times now. But when I got into the studio mode to write, writing studio, we'll say, I wrote the second half of the song, which includes the solo, and I don't even know how the solo goes. I just don't remember it. So I've got a lot that I've got to do on that. I pretty much know all of Angel Incarnate. I do not know the solo or the proper arrangement of Black Misery. I have always, when I play acoustic live, I improvise the arrangements, and that's just how I do. It's not that I don't want to play the full thing. It's that I don't play with a backing track or anything. I just play, and I play the version that comes out that day, what I want to play of it. A lot of the time, some of these songs don't have solos because I just don't want to play a solo in them. And 100% honestly, some of them I don't remember the solos. I know Black Misery is very difficult for me to play the solo now because of my hands. I have arthritis, and it is very difficult to pick up an old solo that was kind of intricate, and that one definitely was. I have got it down a little bit last year, and then I just stopped playing it. So, we'll see how it goes. We're going to, like I said, Rose, Black Misery, Embrace the Darkness. I rewrote the solo for that the other week, and I rewrote and rearranged that song about 2 weeks ago, and then Angel Incarnate. So, sometime over the next few months, be looking for those on Tuesday releases. But anyway, that is all, and I will see y'all next time. Have a great day.